Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Late night special too. That's right. The late night special too. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Late night special too. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Late night special too. For you. That's right, folks. It's Damien Andrews for the MVWF with yet another late night special. That's right, baby. Late nights. Good times. Good times in the MVWF. Alright, now I'm going to send the links out. And we might be kind of keeping things kind of simple and quiet today. After all, I got neighbors. But perhaps you'll join me here in late night special. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Late night special, just me and you. Late night special, woo woo woo. It's late night special, woo woo woo. So who's still awake, motherfuckers? That's right, 'cause it's 11:54 on the East Coast tonight. Are you a night owl? Well, we got Sly Cooper. Hello, Sly Cooper. Welcome. That's right, we are doing ourselves yet another favor where we are putting in some time to do a late night special here. Usually when I do a late night special, I generally try to keep it kind of simple, low key as possible or whatever. I've got about 3 matches here on the card. And the last time I topped it off with an 8-man battle royal in the main event. And honestly, it went pretty good. Told a little bit of a story right there. Of course, Warhammer and Primetime, the tag team champions, were the last two people there at the end. And wouldn't you know it, Warhammer was victorious, eliminating Primetime Sean Sanders. Brooklyn Joker, hello, King Outlaw. The king has arrived. Okay, well, as luck would have it here, the people are starting to pour in for this 3-match, very short, late-night special here. We're doing here in the MVWF. We've got a 3-match card. Let's take a look at it. King Outlaw, the BYS World Champion, will be going one-on-one with one of those decorated tag team wrestlers here in the MVWF. Young Danger Boy, the son of the man in the background there, El Hamburguesa. Tag team, the family, of course, has been 6-time tag team champions. Numerous title defenses amongst all of those title reigns, but one of them in particular is second runner-up for a single title reign, having the second most title defenses in it at 10, tied with Brandon Bones' third World's Heavyweight Championship title reign at 10 defenses. Of course, the record held by Kyle Empire. Also tonight, we've got some cruiserweight action returning to the MVWF after a long absence. Little bitch ass LBA returns to go one-on-one in a non-title match with Dragon Hart Jr. And of course, folks, this could be something of a setup here for a future match between Little Bit Jazz and Dragonheart Jr. But also keep in mind, folks, Brandon Bones has laid it out, or had me laid out very specifically here, that he is laying out. Dragonheart Jr. is splitting his time now because he's gone through the entire cruiserweight division here in the MPWF, and the challenge to the entirety of e-fetting. All we need is one person to step up. And for 2 weeks now, no one has done that. And in our main event tonight, we've got these 8 men who will be competing in an 8-man battle royal. These late night specials here, not the kind of place you'll generally see things like championship title matches and things like that. But perhaps maybe we can wring some storyline juice out of all of this stuff here and get some things going and stuff. After all, I mean, we got a little bit with the tag team champions and stuff, and we've got some in-ring action. All right, let's get it on. We're going to abstain from doing some music here tonight. Need a cruiserweight. Who's your sister, Outlaw? I probably know who your sister is. I just didn't know that she is your sister. All right, here we are in apparently Rome, Italy.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring, accompanied by
Queen Stephers, La Mariposa.
representing the family from Long Beach, California, weighing in at 158 pounds, Danger Boy!
Well, I mean, if there was any time in the history of the MVWF in order to make that kind of proposal to have a female face a male wrestler here in the MVWF, now is the time, considering that Brandon Bones did make the announcement that while there will be no exclusively women's division in the MVWF, there will be women competing in the MVWF. They will be competing right alongside the men. And all that entails. Of course, tomorrow, or actually in about 60 seconds, it's going to be tomorrow. But we're going to have the rest of the Super Match tournament. 5 matches already scheduled for who's left in the tournament so far. And here comes the mighty King Outlaw himself here, the lead announcer here for BYS. A man who chose his haircut because he just wasn't tall enough.
And his opponent, representing the Undead, weighing in at 275 pounds, the King Outlaw!
Well, Joker's asking essentially about, like, Outlaw's status as far as, his participation in the MVWF. And I want to clarify some things here for you. People like Steffers, Queen Steffers, King Outlaw, Fusion, Jiggles, they are representing the Beyond Your Soul Wrestling here as the managerial booking team over there for sure. And of course, the dual champion that is King Outlaw. That being said, King Outlaw here is basically on loan here. He's not performing in his duties as a champion here in BYS here, at least not at the moment anyway. But there are people here who compete from the NWA that are actually dual contract superstars, like, say, Shadow, for instance. He has a contract in both the NWA and the MVWF. But Outlaw, honestly, is really just now kind of getting his feet wet here. He had a nice little run in the Super Match tournament for sure. Him and Primetime had an absolutely stellar match. And again, when you're performing at that level, Brandon Bones is just going to be very much more inclined to want to book you. All right, bit of a size difference here, but Danger Boy, of course, is the type that is not to be intimidated here. And they approach each other very cautiously here to get it started. Oh, we're going to have a bit of a feeling out process here. Again, no, these two guys, first time ever facing each other inside the ring, so there's a healthy competitiveness here, but perhaps maybe not necessarily a heated rivalry or anything like that. Oh, big time boot out of the corner. And Outlaw decides to show him what brand of shoe he wears, right? Nice and up close. So like Joker, for instance, considering you are so prolific in all of the federations that you compete in, I would say that, honestly, you're kind of more of like a Bruiser Brody style type of guy that just kind of goes where the wind takes him, where the money is, you know? So maybe the Joker is the kind of guy that, his negotiating approach is a little bit different from a long-term contract. Look at that right there. The front flip Harlem hangover leg drop from the top rope to the floor and give it up for Danger Boy. Again, going to have to take these kinds of risks here to compensate for the size and strength difference that King Outlaw possesses here. And you got to wonder, the hooligan homeboy, El Hamburg-Wesa, going to have to restrain himself if he sees his son getting in trouble. And that's got to be an awful, awful position to be in as a parent. And a big-time boot. And again, like I said, when it comes to Danger Boy and El Hamburguesa, sometimes they have been kind of listless when it comes to their singles competition and stuff. So, and Danger Boy is one of those competitors that Dragon Hart Jr. kind of plowed his way through. And speaking of getting plowed, that German suplex annihilates Danger Boy on the floor, and perhaps maybe King Outlaw going to take the dub here and the countout. Danger Boy, though, getting to his feet and breaks the count at 15. And a leaping something or other takes King Outlaw down. He decides to sell it one way or the other. Good on him. Very professional. And again, Danger Boy is going to have to be his squirrely, slippery self here. Hit and run until you got him down on the ground, and then hit a big move that keeps him down if you can hit it. El Hamburguesa, you can see, getting a little emotional at ringside right there. King Outlaw had his head on the pivot. You can see he's got El Hamburguesa in his peripheral. Bo Stromboli for the cover there. One count only. Give it up. Danger Boy, again, a decorated champion here in the MVWF, but as a tag team wrestler. I guess I want to equate this kind of show to like those USA TV specials, like right before like a pay-per-view in the early 90s or whatever. You know, like when you had that one time it was like Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels before Survivor Series 93, was it? No, 93 was the one I went to at the Garden. It sucked. Oh, shit. Survivor Series 91. And again, look at Danger Boy. Ooh, to the well once too often. And an inside cradle here. The very powerful man decides to go with the basics here and try and force the shoulders down. No such luck. Hello, Temple. Welcome to the chat here. We've got Danger Boy versus King Outlaw. Got to imagine it's probably about like maybe 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, your time in the UK. And now Danger Boy has Outlaw up in a vulnerable position here. Oh, the big time move here could be the thing to compensate. Boom! Danger drop. And Danger Boy took almost as much stuffing out of himself as he did Outlaw. Stuffing. I want stuffing right now. Oh, sidestep that bullshit. Hits the elbow. Outlaw, I mean, just look at him. He's in his prime here physically. He should be out there dominating Danger Boy. But Danger Boy, again, to his credit, is exceptional in his expediency, in executing moves and staying out of reach. Drop kick, slow and low. That is the tempo, right to the chest, and that is maximizing the size that he does have. Boom! Very, very beast-like right there with the... Oh, what is Outlaw doing? Oh! Man, Outlaw tried to turn away from all of that right there and got his leg stuck up underneath him. It's like when you wake up and your arm's asleep. Yeah, I guess a leg cramp. And shoulders down, and that could be it right there. And Cruiserweight Danger Boy hanging in tough with the mighty Outlaw. Outlaw bloodied here by Danger Boy. And a rear waist lock here. Perhaps maybe not the correct approach when you're so overpowered and outsized. And again, when you want to get fancy and cute like Danger Boy does, perhaps, again, that's when the tables can turn, and a back leg round kick goes for the cover. Almost a huge upset here for Danger Boy. Man, this one here turning out to be something of a barn burner. Credit to Danger Boy. You can see by the booking of this here that perhaps maybe you'd think that the bookers of the MVWF were handing King Outlaw a tomato can here, but Danger Boy, no slouch. Top rope, and for a third attempt, and he comes up short and comes down on his dangerous tailbone. But man, the speed of Danger Boy keeping him just out of reach from Outlaw most of this match. And there's the fastball punch. Just because he's bigger doesn't mean he can't be fast. Very athletic is the mighty Outlaw on the double underhook DDT. And it's over. Danger Boy, again, was doing everything he possibly could throughout this match here to try and get that. And he came damn near close here. But the toughness of the BYS World Champion overcoming here. And King Outlaw, double underhook DDT right down on the head of Danger Boy. And a pretty easy breezy 3 count right there puts him down hard.
The King
Well, you can't say that the Danger Boy didn't make his mark. I will see what I can do about the Mariposa situation. All right, returning to the MVWF, Little Bitch Ass. That's right, Little Bitch Ass was, if you're not familiar with Little Bitch Ass, he's an MVWF original that debuted during the years between Phase 1 and Phase 2. So during those experimental years where I really only bought like 2K13 and 2K14, I wasn't doing a regular Federation and stuff, but Little Bitch Ass was my star. And of course, he was one of those guys that I was determined to keep his attribute points as low as possible to go out there and perhaps maybe use the fact that he was fighting from a deficit to create some drama. Oh, good old LBA? Yeah, Little Bitch Ass. And here comes the Cruiserweight Champion here in a non-title match. The title is not on the line here.
making his way to the ring, representing the good guys from Bad Street, Atlanta, Georgia, weighing in at 190 pounds, the world's Cruiserweight Champion, the future, the
Dragonheart Jr., of course, after making his way through the entire locker room of the MVWF Cruiserweight division, went on to compete very competitively in the heavyweight division and actually managed to get himself a World's Heavyweight Championship title shot while his father, Dragonheart Sr., was champion, and he was defeated. But he is still Cruiserweight Champion. And like I said, the situation with him has left things kind of in dire straits a little bit here. He's a champion without a division to defend his belt against, so the MVWF has stuck its nuts out on the chopping block here and challenged anyone from any federation in any EFED anywhere to come and challenge, as long as they're, within the Cruiserweight specifications.
From Great Falls, Montana, weighing in at 152 pounds, Little
And LBA, little bitch ass, makes his way to the ring. See, now, unlike guys like Kid Christian and Local Talent and Jimmy Controversy, the Dark Horseman, definitely other competitors who compete at a deficit, Little Bitch Ass tends to, his overall tends to be a little bit higher than theirs. I mean, low 70s maybe and stuff, right? And then, of course, the Bitch Ass Driver, the Poison Rana that everyone knows, is one of his bread and butter moves, and he can hit it from anywhere. No, Tyrese, you can't cash in on the cruiserweight belt. Of course, Tyrese backstage after the last show was like, well, if you let the cruiserweight Dragonheart Jr. compete for the heavyweight division, why not let a heavyweight compete for the cruiserweight division? And I threw him out of the office on behalf of Brandon Bones, of course, because people think we sound exactly alike. So it's almost like I'm using one voice for two people. Weird. Now, Dragonheart Jr. into the corner, clotheslines LBA, out of the corner, off the shoulders, tornado DDT. And LBA has been, well, on the shelf for pretty much roughly the last year. So this is his return match here to the MVWF. Low stakes here on the late night special. Kick to the head. Look at how confident Dragonheart Jr. is. Look at that with ease right there. Perhaps LBA has to shake off some of the cobwebs. And how about that? A Rana of his own. Uh-oh, caught him maybe. LBA, no reversal. Dragon Rana, shoulders down, legs hooked, one. Reversal now, into the sunset flip, kicks out. Dragonheart Jr. breaks it up. A little out of range right there. But well within range for the short fall, Dragon Rana. They collide, shoulder to shoulder, rolls away. And both men having similar ideas. Oh, look at that German. And man, once LBA, who looks like he's put on about maybe 10, 15 pounds, caught him and threw him in that German. And how about that tornado kick? Not to be confused with the cyclone kick, Mr. DeBeast. And how about the 630 right there? The Dragon breathing fire. Damn near center of the ring. Kick out at 2. LBA showing he's still got some of that fire in his heart, some of that toughness. He might have to build up some of the calluses again. Off the ropes goes Dragonheart, leapfrog over him and into the inverted atomic drop, followed by the discus clothesline, top rope, LBA. Caught him, full impact of both feet with the drop kick. Now finally having weathered the storm of the opening moments of this match, LBA seems to be pulling things together here and now starting to build his confidence here, his first time in the ring in over a year. 2 count only on the current, cruiserweight champion, Freudian slip. Andre the Giant indeed has a posse. For those that remember that meme before memes. Elbow out of the corner, doesn't get stuck in there. Perhaps another German. No, doesn't get caught. Leapfrogs over it. And an inside the ring springboard move reminds me of why I hate that particular menu of moves. It is indeed an older meme. Oh, what? Dragonheart, he didn't hit the move, dude. You didn't have to sell it. What the fuck was that? LBA perhaps maybe going to take another bite at the apple, this time from the top rope. When I fuck this move up, I dedicate it to you. Oh, see what I mean? Takes him down for the Dragon's Breath, and now... Oh, don't do the 630, the moonsault! Oh, what a daring move! Dragonheart. And here in the Cruiserweight division, no countouts outside the ring, no rope breaks, and the very unique 25-minute time limit. Exclusive to the Cruiserweight division. Disqualifications are on, but of course, you get a multi-person match, which the Cruiserweight division tends to lend itself. Then all bets are on. Where did Little Bitch Ass go? Did he leave? Yeah, go out there and squish him. And how about that? Again, showing that cruiserweights are something that LBA is a professor in. He is one of the first true cruiserweights here in the MVWF. I mean, he was really where the experiment started. That, like, rather than, you know, giving everybody, like, the most amount of attribute points that I could give somebody while also still assigning them a stark and realistic weakness, LBA had minimal attribute points when he started, and his gimmick is that if you lost to him, you were forced into retirement forever. Like, it was like one shot kill. And look at LBA kicking out right there, much to the dismay of Dragonheart Jr. And believe it or not, with I think probably he had about maybe like 9 or 10 matches, and they were all like nail biters and stuff, because again, if they were all like career matches by default, like some guys, I mean, when LBA would get on a streak, it was a bit of a nail biter. And then a guy that was brought in, a guy named Johnny Nyes, had his debut match against LBA, because LBA also, weirdly enough, worked in the undercard, so he kind of worked as kind of like a gatekeeper as well. And Johnny Nyes had one match in the MVWF, and that was it. And Dragonheart starting to put together his moves. The leg sweep takes out the legs of LBA. Hooks the leg here. Did he stun him enough with the leg sweep? And he did. And I'm going to say that perhaps maybe there was a tad bit of ring rust here on LBA here tonight. Dragonheart Jr. looking like a total professional here. Pretty much schooled this dude. But again, you know, one of the booking tropes of wrestling is that when someone does their big comeback match, at least in the United States, they tend to win, even though it kind of is a logical fallacy. I think most of the time you should probably do it more like an All Japan or Pro Wrestling Noah would do it, like when Kobashi came back from his cancer surgery and his double knee surgery that he had. He lost those matches. You know, because, I mean, again, the idea was that, like, they would go out there and, yeah, they would put him over and make him look tough. But even if he didn't win, you still knew that he had room to grow as far as, you know, recovering and getting back into ring shape. And yeah, man, if you ever need like a really good match recommendation, Mitsuharu Misawa and Jun Akiyama against Yoshihiro Takayama and Kenta Kobashi in his return from cancer match. One of a match that legitimately made old bones roll a tear. It was, I mean, and again, I already spoiled what the result was. That the Kobashi loses the match. It gives him like an Emerald Frozen off the second rope. Like Misawa and Akiyama decide, well, in order to put this guy down, we're gonna have to fucking kill him. And so he gave him the Emerald Frozen off of the second rope, pins Kobashi. But here's the thing about it, though, right? The thing about the result of the match is that like they cut to the hard cam while they raise Misawa and Akiyama's arms, and you can see Kobashi in the shot while they're having their arms raised in victory, and nobody gives a shit that they won the match. All anybody cares about is Kobashi okay? And you know what I mean? And it's just like, it was such a unique kind of result, the way that it all turned out, because yeah, they planned to have Misawa and Akiyama for a very good reason, have the comeback kid lose his big comeback match, but he still like he gained even more babyface, heat and sympathy from losing that match, because again, like you can see them, the referee just like, it was more of a formality that he raised the winners of the match's arms and stuff like that in victory, like, because again, nobody gave a shit. You saw them in the hard cam, and then they cut immediately to a close-up of the medics and technicians and his Takayama, his partner, and stuff like that, all tending to Kobashi to see if he's okay. And so the winners just left to zero fanfare whatsoever. All right, folks, we've got our main event battle royal. I had a good time with this battle royal last time, and it's a completely different cast of characters this time around. Former world champion Last Call Jeremy Love, Azrael Black, Doo-Wop here in only his second match here in the MVWF. Tinu, who is still competing in the Supermatch tournament, Rockstar, Too Cool Koito, Wally, and all the way on the left, Sensei Mark Selesky. Over the top rope battle royal, folks. Oh man, look at Too Cool Koito knocking the bottom out. Right into the hands of Doo-Wop. Northern Lights suplex. Action all over the place. And somebody's already busted open. In a battle royal of all things. I think it might be Rockstar. And of course, the rumors continue to swirl. Will Sensei Mark Selesky be going to LTD? Are his days in the MVWF numbered? Don't mind me if I'm starting rumors, but of course the Sensei, like a couple weeks ago, showed up and tore it up in the LTD chat room while the event was going on. And Sensei with a huge kick, and Doo-Wop, I think he might have got a 3-for right there. Doo-Wop and Daddy. Perhaps maybe this battle royal is sort of like the local brawls down near the ice cream shop. And a meeting of the minds between Tinu and Azrael Black, and now Jeremy looking to eliminate Tinu. Wally gets taken down. Tinu in trouble now. On the apron, Jeremy gonna try and get rid of him, but he hesitated. Non-stop brawling here. Look at Too Cool Koito. Man, wouldn't mind seeing a one-on-one match between the Proletariat Playboy and Doo-Wop. fun little story. I was talking to Fusion the other day, and he was complaining about the fact that Doo-Wop's name is censored on community creations, being completely unaware of a portion of Doo-Wop's name is a racial slur against Italians, which is an acronym for without papers. Jeremy eliminated, Tinu eliminated, and now we are down to 6. And he's like, oh, you learn something new every day. 1, 2, 3, kicks out at 2. And the man in the glowing codpiece, Too Cool Koito, a former World's Heavyweight Champion. And look at that back fist right there. You gotta wonder if Doo-Wop hasn't low-key been doing some training. He's not just some street brawler. Rear waistlock, and what a waist it is. Up in the air. Look at this. Gonna drop him right on his pompadour. And Sensei getting dropped on his face. Oh, Azrael Black holding on. Doesn't bother to skin the cat. Gets under the bottom rope and a moonsault. Gets the knees for Too Cool Koito. Rockstar still in there. Still under the tutelage here recently of Brandon Bones. Oh, good elimination there for Azrael Black. And Koito now. He's got the Tiger Prince on the stripper pants. And of course you can see the eyes glowing on the con piece. Oh man, and Doo-Wop gets an elimination. Azrael and walks right into the Greaser Slam. Olivia Newton-John's favorite wrestler's in trouble. Wally, of course, a big man, and of course, historically, that you've always thought that almost by default that the bigger guys had this advantage in battle royals, but of course, it also makes them the biggest target. But you got two guys like Wally will still have trouble with guys like Doo-Wop because they're big men too, but they also got a much lower center of gravity. Of course, Doo-Wop's got that pompadour that you can grab a hold of. Koito's only got his neck rolls. Oh yeah, shake, rattle, and roll, baby. Oh, let's ride peanut butter and fried banana sandwich, baby. Priscilla, take your ass to the kitchen and make me a peanut butter and fried banana sandwich for the king. Oh, damn, down he goes with the wop choppy elbow, and look at that, a flying kick right there. Doo-Wop showing that he's got some nimbleness and some aerial capabilities that he low-key keeps on the down low. If you know what I'm saying, twice, but not just once. Fuck yeah. Gonna hit this weed. In the corner, Rockstar in trouble. He holds on. Very resourceful. Is the protege of Brandon Bones. Oh, shit! Power bomb! That's Wally for you, baby. Wally. And now Rockstar and Doo-Wop, they've got their hands full. Doo-Wop has his fans. Queen Stepher's in the chat, cheering for him. Grab him by the nose hairs. Big time, sweet chin music on target. And look at Rockstar, to his credit, keeps his head on the pivot. Doo-Wop, though, reversal into the corner. Him and his sideburns stalking Rockstar like he was prey. And Wally now just taking a nap under the bottom rope. And a second attempt at that Wapsaki kick. Man, oh, the power of Wally just chucked him out of the ring. And now Doo-Wop in trouble. Boom! Got him. Spear. Doo-Wop, though, holding it together. Oh, yeah, shake it, baby, shake it. Boom! Shake, rattle, and roll. But, oh, the lower back of Doo-Wop starting to flare up a little bit here. But it's just not going to stop him from taking a big risk. Go Grease Lightning. Off the top rope he goes. Big time boot. Boom! What a finish right there. Doo-Wop with several eliminations in this thing. He was a powerhouse all the way through. And unlike the last late night special, where Primetime and Warhammer went out there and had themselves like a wrestling match after the Battle Royal was over, but look at that right there. And here comes, sends Wally over the top rope. Here comes the big time boot, man. I got to get him some Chuck Taylors or some shit like that. And Doo-Wop. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I got a peanut butter and fried banana sandwich waiting for me backstage. Thank you very much. We got to win this race. Lemonade, that cool, refreshing drink. Well, how about that, folks? That was the late night special right there here in the MVWF. Got any updates? No, there's nothing to update whatsoever, other than the fact that everybody is super fucking injured. Brad Bones is no longer medically fit to compete, but you know he's gonna. Well, folks, thank you for joining us here in the late night special. My name is Damian Andrews, and we will be back in actually just a few hours here, sometime perhaps maybe around 11 o'clock noontime, East Coast time here in the United States, and we will be presenting you the finals of the Supermatch tournament. Good night, everyone.